How to gamify your life. This is a technique I use all the time with my clients, and it works really well because, uh, as I say frequently, a lot of what I do is dialing down the angst people feel toward facing their own fears. There's so much pain and fear associated with going back and reviewing and turning on the lights and being aware in case what you find is dangerous or bad. So people prefer not to do that and remain in the dark and therefore descend into madness. But if you can understand tools and techniques for dialing down that angst and making this seem easier and lighter and more playful, then that's a good thing, because then you lean into the work and you discover it's never as scary as you think. So gamifying your life is one such technique for doing that. Just to backtrack slightly by explaining metaphor, because gamification is in fact a metaphor. Metaphor is the language of the unconscious. It's the interplay between our conscious and our unconscious is through metaphor, and the quality of our metaphors shape the quality of our experience. So if you play with your metaphors, adjust them, improve them, notice them, you can also adjust and improve your experience of life. So the basic idea of a metaphor, the simplest metaphor is X is Y. And if you say X is Y, you might not know what X is, but you know what Y is. And so because you know what Y is, then you can kind of go, well, if X is Y, I know Y, so therefore I understand X now as well. So for instance, that man is a snake. You might not know you might not know that man, but you know snakes. Snakes are slippery, snakes are poisonous, snakes are scary. So you kind of go, oh, great, now I understand that man. Or life is a stage. You might not know what life is, but you understand what a stage is. And so you go, okay, I get it now. That guy's just provided a Band-Aid solution. You might not know what he's said, but you understand Band-Aids are superficial and short-term. So you get it. So when I say to people, life is a game, or your relationships are a game, or overcoming insecurity is a game, then they go, oh, okay, well, I don't know what overcoming insecurity is like, and I'm mystified by life, and relationships seem really messy and confusing, but I know games. So gamification is taking the design and principles of gaming and transferring it to non-game-like contexts. So things that you wouldn't think are a game at all, but using the metaphor of a game, then you bring what you know about games into what you don't know about your current area that you're stuck. So it's a lot of fun. So there's some really cool things straight off the bat that become apparent when you can gamify your life, your relationships, your work, earning money, getting unstuck. Because here's what we know about games. Games have rules, and rules are good in games. So I'm writing the chapter in my book at the moment, Leverage How to Change the People You Love, and I'm introducing the relationship rules that Kat and I have in our marriage, and the rules we have in our family life. Now, if I just introduce rules without introducing games, it's not going to make any sense, because you're going to think immediately, well, rules are the antithesis of freedom. You don't want rules. Rules are bad. I want intimacy. I want closeness. I want adventure, and rules are going to cramp my style and get in the way. But when I say relationships are a game and life is a game, and you understand that games have rules, well, now you understand that rules are good. Because if you're in a game and you don't know the rules, well, how are you supposed to win? If you sit down to play a game of Monopoly with a friend and they know the rules and you don't know the rules, they're going to have a good experience and you're going to have a bad experience. So in the context of games, rules are fun. Rules are excellent. It makes sense to understand the rules and to understand them inside out so that you can use the rules to win. Because that's the point of rules. Rules help you win. And in the context of games, winning is better than losing. So in life or relationships or insecurity, like, well, there is no winning and losing. You're just doing stuff. But in games, there's winning and losing. The point is you play a game to win. So if overcoming insecurity is a game, if life is a game, if relationships are a game, well, then there must be a way to win at life. There must be a way to win at relationships. There must be a way to win at overcoming insecurity. So it just adds this element of fun to it, which is another key aspect of gamification. We only play the games we want to play, and we choose them because there's a sense of enjoyment to that. So when you choose a sport, when you choose a board game, when you choose some kind of game that you're going to play, you choose it because you like that game. So that's the fun of this, it adds an element of adventure and fun and lightness to the whole process, where previously it's been really hard and difficult. Fun and enjoyment is a central reason you're playing the game in the first place. So typically overcoming insecurity, hard, scary, terrifying. But if it's a game, and games are fun. Okay, so there must be a fun element to this idea of facing the dragon in your own life. Imagine if you were playing a computer game and there was a dragon you had to face. Well, the reason you're playing that game, although the dragon might be difficult, it's fun to find all the ways to destroy the dragon. So same in your life, this dragon of fear, this monster you've created in your mind. What if there was a fun way of attacking this dragon and overcoming it so you could go free? This is the value of gamification. The drama of the game is also a really wonderful thing. So, talking about gamification is a really, really relevant conversation now in the context of the Tokyo Olympics, because it's a game, the Olympic Games, and we get moved by the games that are being played at the Olympic level because of the drama of them. So, if you haven't been moved at some point in the last couple of weeks watching the games, then I'm questioning if you've got a soul. You might need to find out about that. If you're an Australian, watching Ariane Titmus win the 400 meters over Kate Ledecky, and hearing the backstory where when she first started training with that coach, she was 14 seconds slower than that time. And so the drama of having to discipline and sacrifice and overcome obstacles and challenges to work out how to get 14 seconds quicker, how to get 15 seconds quicker, actually, so you could beat her time. And then you see the pure unbridled joy on the coach, his reaction's gone viral now, because of the drama of that experience. And we're all moved to tears. We're inspired. I think as a general rule, there is more inspiration happening in the world off the back of this 2-week period of games than often in any other period of collective consciousness in the planet, all off the back of games. And the drama of games is what adds to the meaning, because it's hard. So if life is a game, if relationships are a game, if earning money is a game, if overcoming insecurity is a game, now it gives you an understanding of doing something hard and the value of hard. If you go and watch a game where it's not hard, where someone's dominant and they're going to win without trying, they don't even have to train, they just show up and win, you're not watching that game because there's no drama in it. The games you're most keen to watch are the ones where it's the underdog, the team that's never found a way to win yet has worked harder and harder and harder and acquired the skills and experience, and they've come together and this is their year and they're going to overcome the team that's never been beaten before. That's the game you want to watch. So the same is true in your own life. This gives you a reason to do the hard things, and more than a reason, it gives you the sense of meaning behind doing hard things. Of course, it's freaking hard. That's the point. That's the way you would want it. If you are playing a computer game, it's hard when you start, and that's the point. And if it wasn't hard, you're not doing it. Like, it's the fact that you've got to lose a life, go back. What did I do? Oh, that's right. I didn't get that key. Okay, this time I'll get the key and unlock that door. And by doing that, that gives me that superpower. And then I can beat that dragon. Oh, I get it. This is becoming easier when I'm learning the tools and I'm getting upskilled as I go. If you've played a game for 15 years and then you go back to the very beginning, it's like, this is boring. This is stupid. I would never have played this at all if it was that easy from the start. It's kind of the point. You gamify it, you've got a context for hard. So the point is, if you can understand this metaphor and apply it to your life, you get a way of thinking about your challenges and your stuckness that previously didn't exist. So if life is a game, what game are you playing? And are you playing it to win? Do you actually know the rules? Have you ever studied the rule book? Did you even know it was a game? So if you can become aware of the fact that there are some games being played in your world and you're probably losing them if you don't know the rules, well, then learn the rules, understand it as a game and understand the rules to win. So that's the game you're currently playing. And then what game would you like to be playing? So I talk to people all the time who are currently playing games, very low-level games, the game of how do I get people to like me? How do I get my parents to like me, my in-laws to like me, my workmates to like me, my boss to like me? So there's a game of how do you get people to like you? That's a game. You can win and lose at that game. But if you kind of realize that's actually not the real game that you want to be playing, the real game is to do something that you desire out of your own essence, then training in a way that's going to win the game of getting people to like you is missing the point altogether. If you're training to be an Olympic rower, then there's no point in your training sessions doing running 10Ks every morning. So, although there might be some value. Okay, if you're training, let me use a better example. If you're training to play ping pong, that's the game you want to win at, then your coach is not going to have you swim 10Ks in the pool every morning. That's not, so you might be getting better at swimming, but that's not the game you want to be playing. So understand the game you're currently playing, and then understand the game you want to be playing, and then understand how to win that game and the rules of that game. When you're clear about the game you want to be playing, then you can organize everything you've got inside you to make sure you win that game. Final piece around the value of gamification and this metaphor in the short time of this video is to think about when you set the game that you want to be playing. It's useful to think about it as a game. So I ask people all the time, what do you want? It's the central coaching question. What are you going to do with your life? What are you going to give your energy and effort to? What do you want? What would you like to have happen? And often people get so overwhelmed by that question because it's difficult and I don't know where to start. And what if I get it wrong? And I'm waiting for some altruistic purpose to fall in my lap. But if life's just a game, well, just pick something. See, like I was talking to one of my clients about ping pong as an example of this the other day, going, imagine devoting your life to getting good at ping pong. But some people do. Some people decide that's meaningful. And enough other people agree with them that's meaningful that they get paid to do it and cheered to do it. But you think about the first time that ping pong was decided on a game. I learned about, let me pull up some information about the origins of ping pong or table tennis. Table tennis was an amusing after-dinner party game in Victorian England. A row of books would serve as the net and players would bat a golf ball using books. In 1901, James W. Gibb found novelty celluloid balls on a trip to the US that were perfect for the game. The bat appeared the same year. Table tennis was highly popular in the 1930s with Chinese soldiers, a passion they obviously passed on to their descendants. Table tennis first appeared at the Olympics in 1988 and at the Paralympic Games in 1960. And the Chinese have dominated with a medal tally of 53, including 28 gold medals. So one person decided, let's do this and put meaning on it, enough meaning for a whole nation to have it as their goal to be better at that game than any other nation in the world. Who was the first person that decided flapping your arms around like a windmill in water was a good thing to do and that they wanted to do it faster than anyone else? Imagine the first time someone did butterfly. Hey, look at what I can do. I bet I can do it faster than you. No way, I can do that faster than you. Okay, let's have a race. Now it's at the Olympics. People devote their whole life to flapping both arms around like a windmill in water and seeing how fast they can do it. And we all laugh and cheer and cry at the drama of that. Like, is it actually meaningful? Does it have any inherent meaning? Is it contributing to the planet in any way? Well, yes and no. Like, it's not actually doing anything. Yet, because someone decided it's meaningful and enough people agreed that it's meaningful, then it is contributing to the planet because we get moved by the drama of it. So if someone can find meaning in ping pong and butterfly, then it doesn't really matter what you choose. Just pick a game. Just find something and organize your energy toward that game, understand the rules of that game and play that game to win. That has to give you a better experience at life than A, not knowing it's a game, and B, not knowing how to win that game. I hope that's useful. I'll talk to you again soon.